Yeah, hi there, and these comments are for EH. I'm just using your initials for privacy purposes, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-Step System to Pass the TOEFL IBT, your online TOEFL course, and you're also one of my students in the English language program here at California State University, San Bernardino. Thank you for completing the pronunciation pretest that we did in our second day of class, and the purpose now is I want to go through and listen to your recording, and I will recommend specific lessons that I think you can focus on to help you improve your intelligibility of American English.
Wrong, grow, honor, over, father, though.
So the one thing I think you can improve on in lesson 7 is the O. O. It's a long vowel, make it a little longer. Boat, grow, over, though, though. So I think you can do a little bit better with that one.
Pat, pot, map, mop, take, talk.
That's actually tack, tack, talk.
And, on, mac, mock.
Okay.
Bright, brown, broil, lie, loud, loyal, pie, pound.
Pound, pound, pound. We have brown, loud, loud.
Get, late.
Now you're having the same trouble in lesson 7, so there's a pattern here. With long vowels, you're not making them long enough. So you have gate, get, late, let, make, met, blade, bled, dane, den.
Let, meet, mit, blade, bled, den.
So you definitely need practice with lesson 10.
Meet, mit, pete, pet, lip, lip, seat, set, heat, het.
I'd like to have you practice lesson 11 also. Again, the long vowel E, E, meet, peat, leap, seat, that particular sound.
Look, luck, luck, talk, tall, tough, cut, cool.
Okay, I think number 12, I think you should also focus. Luke, Luke.
Match, mash, sheep, ship.
No, cheap, sheep. You said sheep, sheep. It's cheap, sheep. So the CH sound, you're confusing with the SH sound.
Feature, fresher, shaft, shaft.
No. Shaft, shaft.
Shear, shear.
No, cheer, sheer. You're saying sheer, sheer. I say cheer, sheer.
Off, off.
No, it's off, off.
Half, half. Fine, vine.
So with the V, you also need to practice that. That's lesson number 14. You have to produce the V with more vibration. You have of, have, vine, van.
Van, van. Wafer, waver. How, habit. Who, rehearse. harsh, behavior, hate, Batman, beaten, important, brightening, hard track, threatened.
And what I'd recommend here is the glottal stop. When you go to lesson 15, focus on that. You might want to write this down. Lesson 15, practice the glottal stop consonant sound. Here are the words you're having trouble with. Batman, bitten, important, brightening, hat rack, threatened. So you're trying to pronounce those as T's. Important, brightening, hat rack, threatened. But in American English, we don't pronounce them that way. We just say threaten, hat rack, brightening, important. So it's important that at least you can understand that. So in pronunciation, when you hear native speakers, you'll understand what they're trying to say. Now let me go ahead and scroll down a little bit here.
Measures,
fragile,
Fraser,
no, not Fraser, Fraser,
lesson,
no, legend, lesion,
in-game, azure,
no, engine, azure,
large, Asia,
So you definitely need to practice lesson 16.
cake, sink, sage, came,
Should be sag, sink, sag.
game, cap, gap, leg,
I'm going to say no. I think you need to practice lesson 17 also.
lean, rear, better, luggage, utter, right, light, committed,
Where's there? Committed.
pace,
With more air. Pace. Watch this. Pace. Flap. Flab. Cap. So you have to put more air out when you produce that P sound.
base, flip, flap, cap, lap, pay, bay,
Yeah, I'm going to say you need to practice lesson number 19 also.
lice,
Lies. So lice, lies.
zip, zoo, mass,
Mace. Mace.
mass,
Maze. Now, one of the things that's going to be useful for you is you're going to be seeing a lot of new words in the pronunciation area in my course. So part of what you have to get used to is a sound spelling recognition. So you see how something is spelled, but how do you pronounce it based on that spelling? So I can also help you with that. As you go through my pronunciation videos, I recommend that you read out loud with me. When you see a new word in the video that's unusual, you don't know what it means, you might want to write it down in a little vocabulary journal and try to remember how to pronounce that particular word.
Eliza,
So I'm going to say you should practice lesson number 20 also.
multiple,
Robert.
Robert, example, pressure, principle, number, people. philosopher, volcanism,
Good.
written, maximum, question, summer, reason, chasm, often,
Say chasm. Chasm.
tip, dip, cart, tide, train,
It's pretty good.
fad, team, dream, tie,
I would say there thigh, thy.
breath, teeth.
No. You're having trouble with these. I'll go over them with you in just a minute. But it's teeth. Breath, breathe.
Through, though.
Good, that's good. Worthy. Yeah, good. Okay, I'm going to still put down lesson 24. Now here's what we got. You might want to write these down. So based on the part A of your pretest, there are some specific vowel and consonant sounds I think you can work on right now. You ready? You got some paper? You got some notes? Okay. I take notes too, just like you do. Okay, here we go. Lesson number 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, and 24. Now, these lessons are not that long. They're anywhere from 10 to maybe 15 minutes for each lesson. It's not going to take a long time, but if you go through these lessons beginning today, you have a weekend, right? You got Friday, Saturday, Sundays. Next week we have a holiday, July 4th, so we'll have a lot of time for you. And the main thing is, if you work at these lessons and go over these areas, you can and you will improve. Now, in addition to going through the pronunciation lessons to improve your intelligibility, find opportunities to speak English as much as you can, especially when you're in class. Speak English, right? Because if you don't speak English, how can you improve your pronunciation? It's not very easy to make those improvements if you're not speaking the language. Watch TV when you get home at night. This is a very good idea, especially news, history, documentary, even science programs. That will help you more with, I think, your language use, also your pronunciation. Okay? So I think now we're going to the second part of the pretest, in which case you're answering 3 specific questions.
For the question, what is your educational background and your work history? For my education background, I graduated from the university 3 years ago in bachelor degree
I would say with a bachelor's degree.
With educational, and
let's go back to that again.
Job or worthy. For the question, what is your educational background and your work history? For my education background, I graduated from the university 3 years ago in bachelor degree.
Not in a bachelor's, but with a bachelor's degree.
With educational, and
with educational, that doesn't really make any sense. If you want to say with a emphasis or majoring in education, I would use a noun there. So I would say I graduated 3 years ago from a university with a major in education. That's how I would probably say that.
I had a job in secretariat.
I would say I had a job You might put something like after college, I had a job as a secretary, or before college. So you want to make sure you take this idea and connect it to what you said before so we can understand the relationship of the ideas.
The next question, what is important for you to improve?
It's why is it important for you, not what is it important.
Your speaking and pronunciation abilities of American English. It's important for me to improve my speaking and pronunciation to get the right accent for American language and for understand me.
I would say, and to get the right accent in English so that native speakers understand me. That's probably the better grammar that you could use there to explain your idea. So when you're speaking right now, as you're answering these questions, you do have problems other than pronunciation. You have some vocabulary and some grammar limitations. So sometimes you're not sure of the right grammar to use to express your ideas, or you're not sure what vocabulary words you can use to express your ideas.
And for people to understand me, what I said and when I talk.
I would not say what I said, what I say and when I talk, but it kind of means the same thing. It's a little bit redundant how you phrase that.
The third question, what hope you to achieve in this course?
It's what do you hope to achieve in this course?
I hope to achieve my skills in listening.
I wouldn't say I hope to achieve my skills. I'd say I hope to improve my skills in listening.
And pronunciation. And I hope that to learn more about writing, because I want to improve my skills at writing to finish my and I want to shape my ability in writing to succeed.
Now, interesting, there is a connection, you probably know this, as you improve your fluency in speaking, what do you think is going to happen to your writing? You will actually improve your fluency in writing, because as you speak more fluently and you use the appropriate vocabulary and grammar to express your ideas in speaking, it'll be easier for you when you're writing to do the exact same thing, albeit in a more formal sense, but you will also be able to use vocabulary and grammar more fluently in your writing. So part of the key, I think, for you, to help you improve your writing, you also want to focus on improving your fluency when you speak.
And to succeed in the university when I get my master's degree.
Right. And I'm sure that you will be very successful. Okay, now what I want to do is give you an intelligibility score. An intelligibility score, it means how easy or difficult is it for native speakers to understand what you're saying. And the highest score you can get is 7. The lowest score you can get is 1.1 out of 7. And as you know, you need to speak more English. It's going to be very, very important for you to do that. So it's difficult for me, and it's difficult for native speakers to understand what you're saying. If you call somebody on the phone right now, and you're talking to a native speaker on the phone, I think the native speaker is going to have problems with what you're saying. You have vocabulary issues, you have some grammar issues, and you also have some pronunciation problems, and you want to make improvements in those areas. Alright, so your score here, I'm going to put you at about 2.4 out of 7 on my intelligibility scale. You can click on the link in this email to learn more about your intelligibility scale, but basically it means that you have some distractions with your pronunciation. Sometimes you have a very limited vocabulary when you're expressing your ideas. Sometimes you might leave out words. So that's why I put you in the 2.4 out of 7 range. To be a graduate student, let's be serious here. My recommendation for you is you need to move your level higher with your speaking. You really do. And this is going to also help you with your writing. Trust me. We'll talk about writing in another day. You'll submit a writing practice test to me in my course, and I'll get a chance to help you in that area as well. But let's focus right now on speaking. Now you got to decide, first of all, do you want to improve your speaking abilities? If you say yes, here's what I'm going to say. You need to speak English as much as you can every day, even when you're in the class. A lot of your classmates, they may try to speak to you in a different language, in your own language, but tell them, say, hey, I need to practice my English. So that's number one. You have to decide to speak the language as much as you can. If you don't make that decision, you don't do that, it's going to be difficult for you to make improvements. Now, in addition to that, I also recommend watch TV in English. Watch programs, either news, history, documentary, or science programs. All these programs are very good. It's also going to help you with your listening. Now, if you don't have English TV, or you don't have TV at home or cable, if you have access to the internet, there's two good websites to help you with your listening, which will also help you with your pronunciation. I'd recommend National Public Radio. It's www.npr.org. Now, the second website, just use Google, or if you use Google, just put in National Public Radio, and you can find the website. Now, the next website, 2 words, TED Talks. Type in those 2 words, and that will send you to a good website with a lot of good instructional, informational videos, technology, science, culture, current events, all those kinds of things. So if you practice, I think you can get better. But you just can't expect to just show up in class and all of a sudden you're going to develop really, really good speaking skills. You have to do things outside of class in addition to coming to class. You will get better. Alright, anyway, thank you very much. Thank you for posting your pronunciation pretest, and keep up the good work.